Hello beautiful people, my name is Bridget and welcome back. So today we're going to do a 2 looks 1 palette with the Jaclyn Cosmetics or Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. The name of the company is still up in the air for me. I'm not really sure which one it is. Luxe Legacy eyeshadow palettes. This is a eyeshadow palette that has cool, everyday, work-friendly, everyday, beautiful, but mature, elegant shades that I think are really pretty. I picked this up on Ulta's Black Friday sale, and I'm excited to do 2 looks with it. This is the first one, obviously, so spoiler alert, but yeah, this is what we're doing today. I thought it'd be fun to try it out. I know I'm a little bit late to the game when it comes to reviewing this eyeshadow palette, but I wasn't going to pay the $49 price for it because it's not that exciting. Also, one quick thing before I forget, because I know it's the intro, I shouldn't be like reviewing things already. What is this palette made out of? I literally just had it sitting on my desk and it's already scratched to hell. Like I haven't even picked it up barely. It's not been flopped around with other palettes, it's just been sitting on top of my desk. How does it get this messed up? I'm not sure. But anyways, that's what we're doing today. We're trying out 2 looks with this palette. Let's go ahead and get started with swatches before we do the first look. But before the swatches, I do want to give a quick shout out to my small business, theopencrypt.com. This intro was all over the place, I swear. But I do have a small business. It's where my beautiful little Gone Baddie earrings and Whimsigoth lashes are from today. If you want to check it out, I'll leave a link down below. I'd appreciate it. And now to the swatches of this eyeshadow palette before the first look. Alright, so here are the swatches of the first half of the palette. There is like a gap right here in the middle because those are the 2 shades that look very, very similar in the palette. And they didn't really show up on my skin tone. But this is the first half. We can tell that the shimmers here, like you can see the silver is very shimmery, but the rest of them are shimmers after that. But they don't really look like it, I guess. And this is the second half of the palette. It's so dusty looking. Like look at this shade right here. This shade is supposed to be this blue. And that's supposed to be black. I'm not a fan, like they were very smooth. But when I did my normal swirl in the pan and then an up-down motion to, like an up-down thing to kind of spread it out. Like I feel like it, I don't know, but swatches are not the best judge of pigment. All these are matte, so let's get started with the looks now. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the swatches. So let's get started with the look now. I don't know what I want to go for, but I know there's not many shimmers to work with in this palette. So it is gonna take a little bit of finagling to figure out what I want on my lid because they're all really pretty shimmers. So all we have is this 1 row of shimmers as well as this first shade here, and then the rest is mattes. I love having more mattes honestly because I like, you know, my crease and my outer corner to look a little bit deeper and have some fun colors if I want to, or a nice halo eye requires a lot of mattes. So I like the more mattes in here, and I think it's a very elegant, mature palette to look at. But yeah, I want to try it out. So I'm going to take the Drawer Cosmetics Clean Canvas Base in Fair. I'm going to take a little bit of it and put it on my lid as my primer today. And I have no idea what kind of color scheme I want to go for this first look. You know, maybe the color scheme for these looks doesn't matter because it is a very neutral, cooled palette. Like you could go a little more towards a warm tone, but it's going to be very subtle. So I don't think it really matters what kind of looks I do for this because this is going to be your everyday kind of palette, it seems like. So it should be fine. So I'm going to take a E38 blending brush from Sigma because this look is going to be very simplified and everyday. I want to take the shade, because we have 2 of these shades that look very similar, I want to take the shade Honey, which is the slightly pinkier, it's a little hard to pick up, the slightly pinkier nude shade in here. And I'm going to put this under my brow bone just as a nice base. It's pink, right? It's pink. Right there. It's kind of pink. It looks more pink on my skin than it did in the pan, but I'm putting it right under the brow bone so that anything I blend in my crease will be blended easier. I don't know, I like putting something under my brow bone to make everything blend easier the higher I go up on my lid. So next up, I want to go into the shade Farm Girl, which is this really subtle shade. Pack it up, tap off my excess. It's just kind of a taupe, but not as gray as a normal taupe. And I'm going to put this all over the crease, not as much in the inner corner. I don't want my inner corner to be closed up. This shade's really pretty. This shade's really pretty. Yeah, yeah, I like the color. That's all I got to say about that. I don't know. I thought I was going somewhere with it. Not so much. It's blending okay. I do think it takes a little more work than, say, like an Anastasia shadow to blend or a Jeffree Star shadow to blend. It's blending like a really good Makeup Revolution shade. Is that shady? I don't know, because Makeup Revolution is more affordable, but it's not like as effortless to blend as some other shades that I use from palettes around the same price point. But it's not bad. Like, it's not bad. It's actually blending better on this side. I don't know if I just had a little extra bit of primer on this side. It's blending better over here. Like, look at that. It looks so much better than this side. So maybe my primer on this side was just not right, because this side's blending beautifully. So maybe I'll just put a little extra on this side to even it out. So disregard my shady comments about it not blending. Might have been my primer, because this side looks lovely. Like, this looks lovely right here. Next up, because this is gonna be a very normal everyday shade, I want to go into Bad Mousy. I don't know where these shade names are coming from. Sure, I'm sure she did a video revealing the reasons for the names and everything, but I ain't got time for that. I'm just here to test the palette out. I'm not here to judge her shadow names. I'm just gonna put this in my outer half of the eye and blend it to about the center. It's very pigmented, that's why I put a little bit of the pigment on this side as well. I also think this comes off slightly darker. Well, decently darker. Like, this is the shade on the lid. I feel like on camera this looks darker, but in person it looks darker on my eyes. I'm not having any issues blending this shade. And also, sorry I don't have any fingernails on. I got the green nail on two of my fingernails, so I'm trying to like soak my hands in vinegar and get rid of that. So sorry I don't have fingernails on today, guys. I know it's not that big of a deal though, so it's gonna be okay. This side looks like a dream. This side is not cooperating. Like, do you see this? Okay, I'm torn. For the lid, like lid shimmer, I really want to use Family, but it pulls a little more olive and I didn't use a green shade, so I think I'm gonna use Apple Pie, which is this one. And I'm gonna put it on my lid. So this has a very golden sheen to the shimmer. It's not like super metallic, if we can tell, like no shimmer with shimmer. It's not very metallic in nature, but it is still a shimmer. I just wish it was like a little more poppin' as a shimmer. But if you're looking for this as your everyday, not trying to be super glamorous palette, I think it really works. I'm going back into this blending brush now with no extra product, and I'm just blending the shimmers into the mattes of my crease, which gives me this like kind of seamless look. Besides the fact that this eye isn't cooperating, I don't know what's going on. Look at that. We're gonna pay attention to her today. She looks lovely. And then I'm gonna take this little, it's kind of like a little flat, but it's thick and soft brush as my shader today. And I want to go into the shade. Let's do a different shade. Let's go into So Ucky, which is this kind of taupe. Let's see if it shows up under lower lash line. So Ucky looks like that on the brush, and I'm just gonna shade my lower lash line with it, not bringing it too far in to my like inner corner where the inner highlight. So here's with it and here's without. It definitely gives my eye a little bit of dimension. I do like it. I also think if you're going for like a barely wearing eyeshadow day, this shade would be really great to just throw in the crease, and maybe with that meat and potatoes kind of shimmer on the lid. I feel like those two shades just being your only eyeshadow would be really subtle but pretty. Okay, so my eyeshadow's done. Simple, everyday. I'm gonna use the Kimchi Chic Beauty Stage Proof Matte Setting Spray to kind of lock the shadow down. And now we're gonna finish up the rest of my eye look. All right, so for the rest of the eye look, I'm actually gonna break out of my normal everyday routine where I do white right here, because I want this to be like an everyday work friendly. Most people are gonna add just stark white underneath their eyes. I am gonna take a glitter liquid shadow, however. This is from One Size Beauty. It's the shade Let's Pump. It's just kind of a brown. I'm gonna apply it right here just for a little bit of glitter to brighten up my eyes. So there's, can we even see that? There's just a little bit of glitter right here. For mascara, I'm gonna use this little mini Rise mascara that we got in an Ipsy. like a little mini Ipsy Glam Bag. I thought it looked dry when I swatched it on my hand. So we're gonna find out if it's actually dry by using it as my mascara today. The answer is yes, it is dry and I don't like it. Like it's just, it's not even really wanting to coat my lashes. It's just kind of lightly putting something on them. It's not good. Like, I feel like Milk used to have like banging products. When they first came out, it was banging stuff. And then they discontinued their good stuff, like their setting powder. Oh, it's my fave for like when I want my skin to still look dewy, but I have to set it with powder because I need it to last all day. But they discontinued it. And then the good stuff is gone and leaving their bad stuff. Or there's stuff that has mixed reviews, like their Hydro Grip Primer. Some people hate it and it has like really bad reviews, but some people swear by it. I don't know what's going on with Milk, honestly. I hate this mascara. I have to use a different one. I can't do my bottom like this. I want my bottom looking poppin', and this is not it. Okay. It looks a little spidery, but Colourpop versus Milk on my bottom lashes. It's so different. And that's a brand new thing. Like I just opened it when we did the Ipsy unboxing. For lashes, I'm actually gonna use my own for my small business. I'm gonna use Whimsigoth, which look like this. They're very flary, feathery. These are cut a little short because my eyes are kind of small. But I'm gonna put these lashes on and I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is the finished look. I added Hawkwind by KVD, which is a discontinued shade, on my lips, as well as like this metallic olive waterline thing from Colourpop. So this is the finished look. I was gonna put the wig on, right? Like the, you know, if you saw the U-part wig, but it is a lot of work to put it in. Like I feel like once I get the hang of it, I'll be better at it. But like right now, I just spent 5 minutes like trying to make it secret and I couldn't do it, but that's okay. So anyways, this is the first look. It's simple, it's everyday, it's pretty, and it does the job. So I think it turned out okay. So anyways, let's move on to the next one now. All right, so time for look number 2 now. I'm gonna do green this time. Both of these looks are gonna be you could wear them every day because I feel like that's the vibe this palette gives off, is like effortless, glamour, everyday, friendly kind of colors. So that's what I'm going for. I personally don't really know what to do with this blue. Like, am I supposed to pair it with this? I guess that's the only thing I could really do with it. I don't really know what to do with that. My eyes are already primed. I gave it a minute to get tacky so we wouldn't have that issue we had in the last look where it kind of stuck to one eye. So I wanted to give my primer time to get tacky before I started filming. I do want to go ahead and start with this kind of tapered blending brush. This one's from Alter Ego. I don't know which brush it is though, because it doesn't have a label. It just says Alter Ego on it. And I'm going to take Biscuit, since we took Honey last time, and I'm going to go ahead and set with this color underneath of my brow bone, because I feel like it gave us all these very similar cream shades. I might as well use them, right? I just think it's weird to have two so similar in here. And if you're gonna leave me a comment saying, well, if you watch Jaclyn's review video, she explains why there's two shades that are basically the same, it's still unnecessary, okay? It's still unnecessary. Don't get it. Okay, so for this look, the green, I want it to be kind of diffused kind of situation. We have two different green shimmers, which I feel like gives you the option to just pair it with this one, with this kind of ivy green, or maybe a little bit of warm tone in the green, or you could use this and pair it with like the ivy and the black or something. Not really sure, but I do want to start off with Moo and put it on my outer and inner portion of my eye. So here's how it picked up on the brush. I'm just using an E25 from Sigma. It's just kind of a flat but fluffy brush. It's not super dense because I didn't want it to be too pigmented of an eye look for it being like an everyday. You know, like I feel like everyday isn't super bold, but it doesn't have to be subtle either. So I'm just taking that here, and I'm also going to take a little bit more. This is kind of a dry matte, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to leave a big opening in the center. And I'm just adding it a little bit up into the crease. I will say it's a very ivy green shade. It looks a little more mossy green in the pan, but I have been having to like to pick it up, and then it's just not the most pigmented thing in the world. It has pigment, don't get me wrong, like it's applying nicely, but I do have to go in the pans a lot to get it on the brush. Like to get this pigmentation that I'm doing now, it's a lot of dips, and I feel like it's not the worst thing in the world. Like at least I'm getting it on there. But I have gone into the pan like 4 or 5 times now for this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into that same blending brush, take a little bit of Moo and maybe just a little bit of TC. So I'll take some Moo and then a little bit of TC, which is kind of this gray taupe. Tap off any excess and I'm gonna blend it over the crease, avoiding the center. But do we see that, like, the centerpiece right there? It's not, they're kind of on the drier side. Like, it's working. I'm not saying it's not, but it's a little on the drier side. You know, I just think it's not my favorite in the world. I'm trying to be really fair, you know, because I feel like some people are harsher on influencer products than others. I'm trying to be really fair. I just don't think I live for it. But the color scheme is so pretty, like I had to have it on that half price day, you know? So for the lid, I'm gonna take 2Z on one side and do the outer and inner corner. And then for the center, I'm gonna take Family AF. Now it's not gonna be the highlight of my eye, like the centermost halo in the world, because it is a dark-ish shade in the center. But I just wanna see how these shimmers perform. So here is, what's that shade called? Tootsie. Putting that on top of that green we put down originally with the flat brush. It's just kind of a subtle shimmer like we saw in the first look. And then Family AF goes in the center. Ooh, this one's like, so it was kind of hard pan. I kind of had to scratch into the pan to get the shimmer up. And then when I put it on my eyes, it's not like really shimmery. So here, let me zoom you in real good. There's with it, there's without. But like, this is already 2 dips in the pan. It's just so subtle, you know? Like, if you're gonna put a beautiful shade like this in here, I want it to kind of pop. It's just like, kind of a shimmer. Again, I think if you're doing everyday looks, like you might not want like the most metallic, beautiful shimmer in the world. I don't know, I still feel like for everyday looks, metallic shimmers is like the way to go. I just feel like this is very subtle. I'm gonna go for a 3rd time and give a 3rd coating on this eye. I don't know. I'm gonna take the same blending brush with no extra product. Blend the crease just a little bit so there's not a harsh line. And then for the lower shadow, I'm gonna take this little Sigma Alice in Wonderland E30 brush. It's just like a little tapered dome, and I want to go into a different shade, so I'm gonna go into Buddy, just this one. Let's go into Buddy, kind of a taupey gray brown. Go in there very heavy, tap off any excess. I just want to use this little tapered shape for my lower lash line. I'm gonna try to pump up this look a little bit, even though it's supposed to be an everyday wearable look, with my like other eye things, not just the eyeshadow, because I'm not loving the eyeshadow right now. I feel like the first look came out really cute, and I got hit on by a girl at Michael's wearing it. She called me a goddess and she wanted me to sit on her face, so that was very nice. I feel like my look was better than I expected yesterday. But this one, I just feel like the greens aren't like they're not that girl for me. But if I was gonna pick up this palette every day, I don't think the greens would be the shades I really went for. I think the greens are fun. It takes up a good amount of the shimmers in this palette because there's not many shimmers in this palette and we have 2 green ones. But I think if I was buying this palette for an everyday palette, which I guess I kind of did, the green shades would not be my go-to, probably. Because they have tons of like other cool tone neutrals in here that aren't green, and sometimes a little bit of warmth. I don't know, just the greens aren't, they're not they're not what I expected. If you have this palette, because this is an older palette, let me know what you think of them. Like, I don't know, I'm just feeling if I wanted a green look, even if it was a more subtle cool tone green look, I would just reach for a more affordable palette with prettier shimmers like Glamlight or something. So this is the shadow. I'm now going to try to bring this look to life because it's looking a little meh right now. I'm gonna take my my Epic Wear wet liquid liner, and I'm gonna take it with the white color from NYX and just draw myself a good old highlight right there. Take a little bit of this Natasha Denona Scarab little duochrome liquid eyeshadow and rub it right under here. This has olivey tones in it that I thought would match that kind of lackluster shimmer we have. So here is the Scarab and there's the shade. It kind of matches, but it's not perfect. And then for mascara, I'm going to use the Buxom one I'm trying to like. I just don't. And then for waterline, I'm going to use the Dose of Colors Maybe Baby, which is kind of like a darker green. And for lashes, I'm going to use the Kiss Matte Sheer Matte Black lashes. I'll leave what I can link down below, but I'm going to finish on my face and then I'll show you the finished look once I pick out a lipstick, because I don't know what kind of lip to do with this. Okay guys, so this is the finished look for look number 2 with the Jaclyn Cosmetics Luxe Legacy eyeshadow palettes. I put my hair on today. I could actually get it right today. And here is the look. I don't love it. I feel like the stuff in my crease is already going away, and it hasn't even been but like half an hour since I applied it. But somehow the crease, if you can see, we had a lot of pigment going on that I really packed on in the outer and inner corner. It's starting to fade away. So I feel like the longevity of the greens is not really holding up. Also, it wasn't that fun to apply. Like, I just feel like it was like a lot of building to try to get the green to the opacity of pigment that I wanted. However, the first look I thought came out really pretty and also did last quite a long time. Like, I wore it out for the day. I didn't experience any fading that was noticeable. I just feel like the greens weren't formulated perfectly. But again, if you have the palette, I would love to know your thoughts on it down below. I've never watched a review on this palette. I'm just trying to give you my thoughts and stuff. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think of look number 1 and look number 2. These are both everyday wearable palette looks. Oh my god, what's on my forehead? Oh my god. It looks like I didn't blend my concealer very well. Sorry. But yeah, I think both are everyday wearable looks. I just feel like the greens weren't my favorite to work with. I had a little bit of issue blending due to eyeshadow primer on the first look. However, I feel like the first look came out good and like it was fun. I'm going to continue to use the palette. I'll let you know at the end of the month with favorites and fails if I enjoyed it after using it more, trying more of the shades and everything. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much. You can check out my small business, theopencrypt.com, linked down below, which is where my skeleton hand earrings are from. And I will see you later. Have a great day, okay? I don't know how this video is going to be taken. I feel like if it's an influencer product and I don't love it, people are like, oh my god, you're just so shady. But it's not true. It's just not my favorite, but I bought it, so I'm going to use it. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I'll see you later. Bye. Have a great day and stay safe out there.